We are live, as Bruce Buffer would say. Welcome to another night of Big Paulie's live streams. HTFL football coming at you here in a little bit. It is going to be San Francisco at Los Angeles. Not San Francisco, San Francisco at Washington tonight. How are you doing, everybody? Good to be with you yet again this 28th of October. And, of course, the Rays did not win Game 6 of the World Series, so here we are at nearly 7:30. Everybody down here kind of questioning Kevin Cash, pulling Blake Snell too soon, and as soon as I saw Snell being pulled, I said, uh-oh, they blew the game. They blew the game right there because they put Nick Anderson in, and Nick Anderson hadn't played well in the playoffs, and I kind of knew there was danger ahead, Cherie, as Harry Carey once said. So how's everybody doing? It's Wednesday. I already said what the day is, the 28th of October. Now, I will be mentioning this at the end of the first quarter tonight. Election night, we will be going on at 7, not 7:30. Figured it's going to be a long night if you're a political junkie. So we'll get the game over with quickly and get you on to other things. Just watching some more Are You Being Served for Al Red Sox fan. I was just watching the episode where they're building the club, and as often happens with the gang, they have a breakdown and they're all throwing paste at each other, and Mr. Harmon's throwing tea up in the air. One of my favorite episodes. That and the one Jackie Palla was in, the British wrestler. And he's wrestling Mr. Humphreys, and they have kind of a choreographed match, which neither of them wins because Mr. Slocum comes in the ring and beats the crap out of Palo. So, wish things were going better. The job that I had, I was doing training, and like I was saying last night, if they're going to give me the playbook, then they should give me all the plays. And they didn't, so I just said, get something else. And it came at a bad time right now for me, but I'll keep doing these as long as I can, and if I can't do it anymore, I can't do it anymore. That's all there is to it. 8 minutes and 27 seconds to go. So San Francisco, Washington tonight. I'd like to get the project done. I would like to get this project done. We're looking at maybe around the time of the Super Bowl or a week before is when this season will end. And I'm not planning to do, if I do a season 2, I'm not planning on doing it until September of 21, and we'll just do 5 games a week instead of 10. Because this took too long. That's how I feel, at least right now. A few days from now, I might feel a little different, but we'll see what happens with that. If you're new to the stream, and we do have 81 subscribers, we was 78 the other day, and I picked up 3 more. Special hello if we have any of the new subscribers tuning in, either now or when this game is available on demand. Here is my little collection of memorabilia behind me: Super Bowl 25, Mickey Mantle, and Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. So, some prized possessions. The Mickey Mantle poster was a gift of a boyfriend of my mother's back in the 90s who has since passed away. And the Super Bowl 25, I went to back in 1991, and that was the day before my father died. But he was in bad shape. We were trying to get it so that I could go with him to watch the Super Bowl, but cancer was eating him up. So my mother had a friend that she worked with, good fella, and he was a Giants fan, so it was the thrill of a lifetime for us to go to the Super Bowl in Tampa. Of course, that was the year of the Persian Gulf War, and of course this Super Bowl coming up is in Tampa, and it could wind up being the year of COVID, where nobody's in attendance because the NFL doesn't want anybody catching COVID. Always gotta hydrate before you do a game. Keep the vocal cords nice and soft. Um, so we're down to 6 minutes and 5 seconds. Anybody wants to be a sponsor on on this channel? I would welcome any sponsors. Just get in touch with me via the channel because today I took a big hit. But they don't give you the training material. They don't give you the training material to follow along. They give you something that's like it but not it, and you try to make it your fault because you bring it up. And I'm like, no, no, no. If you want me to run the plays, then you got to give me the playbook with all the plays in it. And the things they had me doing were not in the material they gave me, so I just said, okay, that's how you're going to treat your employees. I would rather not be an employee. And we'll get something else. 5 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm looking at the news here before we hit the air course. Congratulations to the Dodgers, by the way. I don't want my dismay uh, to put a damper on the Dodgers. If it wasn't for the Rays, the Dodgers would be one of my favorite teams. I like how the way I always thought they were a class organization, and I always liked Vin Scully. Of course, Vin Scully got to see the Dodgers win another world title, so kudos to them. And the Dodgers have been a good team for years, and they finally got their world championship. The Rays, I think they're a hitter or two away. Hello, Sports Time Machine, wide right. That's right. That's right. Super Bowl 25. I was there, and from where I was sitting to the end zone, in the end zone where Scott Norwood was kicking to, and my initial thinking, Mr. Utah Mike, is that it had gone through. It had gone through the goalpost, and I was feeling bad for my buddy. Um, I was feeling bad for my buddy who was the Giants fan, and but pretty soon, with the reaction and the very loud roar you could hear at Tampa Stadium, I realized, oh, it was no good. It was no good. All they got to do is Hostetler has to sit on the ball, and that'd be the game. Wide right, yeah. I know they have talked about this on some of the Super Bowl shows in more recent years, but what if the Bills had won that Super Bowl? Of course, then they probably only would have won one out of three, one out of four, right? Or maybe they win, two or three or four, and they're considered one of the best dynasties in NFL history. It's funny how one play could change the fortunes of teams sometimes. Look at the Dallas Cowboys and the game they had with the 49ers in '82. And not Marino, but Joe Montana throws that pass to the late, great Dwight Clark. And that changed football history forever, and the 49ers became a dynasty. You ever sit back and wonder, what would have happened had a play gone a different way? What would have happened if the Bucks hadn't blown that 35-14 lead against the Colts in 2003, the year after they won the Super Bowl? They probably would have might have gone to the playoffs and won another Super Bowl. They might have been a dynasty of the 2000s instead of the Patriots. What if the Patriots don't hit that field goal against the Raiders in a divisional playoff? And what if the fumble, the controversial fumble in that game had been called a different way? Isn't that why we do these? And isn't this why we do this? Is, little things in the universe like that. Check out Sports Time Machine, by the way. He's got a great channel. Maybe Jackie Harris makes that catch against Pittsburgh. Yeah, yeah. That's the great thing about what we do is you go through the what ifs, and we play out how a universe might look, or if we envision it a different way. Uh, Oh, Jackie Smith. You're thinking of Jackie Smith. Bless his heart. He's got to be the sickest man in America. Super Bowl 13 and 79. Yeah. If Jackie Smith makes that catch, Super Bowl 13. Who knows? Maybe that would have been the first Super Bowl to go to overtime, and maybe it would have been like a 35 all, 38 all shootout. Second Super Bowl I ever saw was Super Bowl 13. My parents were big Dallas Cowboy fans, at least my father, who now he was a meat cutter in New York, and when he met my mom, they came down to Florida. But he was a big Dallas fan because of Tom Landry being an assistant with the Giants. Vince Lombardi was the offensive coordinator, and Jim Lee Howell was their coach in the late 50s. And I would talk about another team, woulda, coulda, shoulda. What if the Giants win that game in 58? Or, win the game in 59 that came after it? Well, we'll get going with the game here. We're down to about 25 seconds, so I will get set up. Call up my PowerPoint slide. It be that time, 16, 15 seconds. Big Polly's World of Sports Sims proudly presents another night of HTFL football. Tonight it is San Francisco, the Gold Raiders, combination of the 49ers and Raiders at 8-2, traveling to Washington to take on the Redskins. They come into tonight's game also at 8-2, so whoever wins, at least for the moment, will have the best record in the HTFL. We're in Washington. For all intents and purposes, it is Sunday afternoon. The Raiders and the Redskins and the 49ers and the Redskins have had some battles. It's 38 degrees at FedEx Field. I will control Washington. The computer will control the Gold Raiders. Washington wins the toss, will receive. They want the ball. As we get set up for tonight's game, it's going to be Y.A. Tittle up against Sonny Jurgensen, a couple of old school quarterbacks. Bill Walsh and Joe Gibbs, their respective coaches. Washington in their home burgundy. The Gold Raiders in white with red numbering, kind of taking after the 49er uniforms. And we'll get this game underway. I did not catch who the returner was. It was James, 27 yards to the 33. And let's acknowledge the other returners, which were Signs and Williams. And let's set up the Washington offense and the San Francisco defense, and then we'll do the vice versa when the Gold Raiders have the ball. Davis and Akins are your running backs. Monk and Clark, your wideouts. Chris Cooley at tight end. Jurgensen, the quarterback. Jacoby, Grin, Haas, Savinsky, and Samuels are the offensive line. We'll see Savinsky play defense later on. For San Francisco, we have 5 10s and a 10 plus in the lineup. Haley, Hardman, Nomalini, and Stubblefield, the front four. Khalil Mack, Willis, and Peterson, your linebackers. Willie Brown, Lester Hayes, Ronnie Lott, and Dave Grayson are your defensive backs. Washington coming off a loss to the LA Rams last week on Monday Night Football. Trap left Stephen Davis. So you think you just saw them a few days ago on HTFL football? You are right. Davis, a 2-yard gain on the left side. And that sets up a 2nd and 8 at the 35. Washington playing a base formation right now. Stephen Davis trapped left. It's a blitz, so Akins is going to get it on the screen. And Akins can catch the ball out of the backfield. A gain of 14 for him. Khalil Mack made the tackle for the Gold Raiders. And let's look at Akins. Spotlight him here. 52 carries, 215 yards on the year. Actually, he has only caught 7 passes for 77 yards. So he hasn't seen too much action so far, and he has been subbed out for Bob Seymour a few times. And his best game, a 9-rush, 60-yard effort against Dallas a few weeks ago, and he hasn't seen as much action as I thought he has. 1st and 10 at the 49. We'll go to Monk. Short hitch. Instead, a dump to Davis, short by a foot of the first down. I am not going to waste a challenge this early, and it'll be second and inches at the 41. And if you want to get a quick yard, you won't lose your money if you run it with Sonny. Sweep left. And did he get it? Enough for the first down. So another first down for the Redskins. Said both teams are 8-2 coming into tonight. And we're going to go Akins on the dive. And Akins picks up 3. Hardman hurt on the play. And he will come off. Hart will come in to replace him. I'm pretty sure that is not Jim Ray Hart of the San Francisco Giants, but Tommy Hart played at Morris Brown. Sounds like a law firm. Second and 7. Going to be a screen to Davis. Incomplete pass. Third and 7 at the 38. To Cooley, the short hitch. Short, tight formation for San Francisco. We're going to go to Charlie Taylor on the medium fly and try to beat the tight coverage. That does not happen. Incomplete. Might have been intercepted.
The ruling on the field stands. Incomplete. A timeout will be charged.
And not to be. Field goal time. Maybe a 55-yard try. It would not be advisable to try it because the odds are only 30%. 7 yards is too many yards to try to get. We're going to try the old pooch punt.
False start. Offense.
And actually, this will work to their favor. Slavinsky is called for the false start. That'll give LeBaron a better punting angle. He gets it away. And it rolls out of bounds at the 4. Nicely done by Eddie LeBaron. 11:39 left, opening quarter. We have no score. If you are just tuning in, or if you're just queuing up to this tape, if you're watching this later, here's the offense for San Francisco. Gore is the sole running back now. He's usually accompanied with by Hugh McElhenney. Rice, Owens, Wilson are your 3 wideouts in this formation. Gordy Sotal is your tight end. Y.A. Tittle, your quarterback. Shell, Upshaw, Otto, Cross, St. Clair. Those are your offensive linemen. For Washington, it's Manley, Butson, Talbot, your front 4. Hamburger, Slavinsky, and those are your only 2 linebackers in right now. Williams, Green, Houston, Taylor, and Bass. Bass being the nickelback. That's your defensive backfield. First and 10. Here's Y.A. Your throw incomplete. Now, Hugh McElhenney enters the game as a running back. So, the updated linebacking core for Washington is Hamburger, Slavinsky, and LeVar Arrington. Second and 10. This is Gore. And he's got a first down, a pickup of 10. I will not challenge the spot. Too early to be challenging, I think. Gore, coming into the day, 799 yards. 35 catches out of the backfield for 480. His best game so far, rushing the ball, 124 in a 45-14 win over the Indianapolis Colts. San Francisco has only lost to New England and to St. Louis. The Redskins have only lost to Miami and the Rams this past week. First and 10 at the 14. Gore, a gain of 5. And it's second and 5 at the 19. New York plays later. They are also at 8-2, so you got a 3-way tie for the best record. McElhenney down the left sideline, a pickup of 14. Darrell Green hurt, and his return probable. So Mike Bass comes in, and he will play the corner. He, of course, scoring the only touchdown for Washington in Super Bowl VII. First and 10 at the 33. I forgot to post this to Digital to Dice tonight. First and 10 at the 33. And I thank everybody for dropping by, because that's usually how I draw my audience. Sports Time Machine, I thank you for dropping by. Pickup of 9. Tittle to Rice. just dawns on me. And Digital to Dice just put out a new podcast today. Second and One at the 42 podcast number 61, the one off. And no gain, Manley on the tackle of Gore. Third and a yard, ball at the 42. Gain of a yard. And I always try to put the Digital to Dice podcast on my blog, so that's another way of accessing it. First and 10 at the 43. I don't ask, I do that because I want to promote those guys. I think, they are the chief promoters of what we do on YouTube and on the tabletops. And I want to give them all the shout outs they can get. Second 11 at the 42. Tittle over the middle of Soltal, and that's a gain of 13. Soltal had a great game last week against Detroit. 7 catches for a $1.26. First and 10 to Washington 45. And this is McElhenney, 17 yards. Arrington on the stop, and McElhenney now 3 catches, 32 yards. He's out of Washington. He comes in with 71 rushes and 464 in terms of yardage, 18 catches for 220, I do believe. First and 10 at the 28. He always envisioned himself running in a dark alley, and that's how he was able to run so fast. Gain of 2, and it was Arrington bringing him down again, so these two great players are noticing each other. Second and 8 at the 26. Tittle throwing, picked off. That is Williams, Johnny Williams, his 4th pick of the year. Brought down at the 16, the interception returned 6 yards. And here come the Redskins, 4:59 left, opening quarter. Trap left Davis. One of the more underrated NFC Championship games, a fumble, and San Francisco gets it. Back-to-back turnovers on back-to-back plays. Mack may have caused the fumble for the Gold Raiders, and Hardman picked it up. And we'll hold our little story for a little later. First and 10. San Francisco in the red zone. The throw from Tittle to Gore, incomplete. Slavinsky on the coverage. Or Slavinsky, maybe. Second and 10 at the 15. This is Tittle again. Soltal could not hang on to that. Third and 10. Tittle. Soltal. 6 points. So the turnover giveth, and sometimes the turnover taketh. It is 6-0 San Francisco. Janikowski from the Oakland Raiders puts it through on the point after, 7-0 with 4:37 left, opening quarter. James back deep, 2 yards deep in the end zone. Return to the 10, to the 15, to the 19, which is going to come back. Houston called for holding. So it's going to be first and 10 from the 9. As I was saying, Trap right. One of the more underrated NFC Championship games, I think, was it was a great game, too. It was between Washington and San Francisco to decide who went to Super Bowl 18. And that was a game where Washington had a 21-0 lead. San Francisco came back and tied it at 21. Mark Mosley could not hit a field goal to save his life. That's a 1-yard loss. Peterson on the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 6. I'll go 3 wide and look to Charlie Taylor. But it all came down to a field goal, and Mosley going 0 for 5 hit it, which advanced Washington to the Super Bowl that year. But that win took a lot of starch out of the Redskins, because 2 weeks down the road they would play the LA Raiders and they would get whipped 38-9. LeBaron with a booming punt. The wind 5 to 15 miles an hour.
Offsides. Defense.
Oh, that's a first down
5-yard
for
penalty.
Washington. Now keep the drive alive. First and 10 at the 23. Keep with the double tight end formation. This defense is so strong for San Francisco. What do you do against it? No gain. Of course, the Raiders were playing at LA, and that was the only championship they had won in LA. I believe they are the last team from LA to win at the World's Championship in pro football, not counting teams from other leagues. Third and, let's see, it is second and 10 at the 23. We'll go Taylor, medium slant. There was the LA Extreme that won the XFL in 2001 over the San Francisco Demons. Stubblefield out a few plays. So Bryant Young is going to come in. He's out of Notre Dame. He will play one of the two nose tackle spots, first and 10 at the 34. Stephen Davis finds a little bit of a hole. He gains 3. Williams on the stop. Second and 7. The ball resting at the 37. Sweep right. Davis. And that is a gain of 5. Peterson making the stop. A third and 2 will end the first quarter here. It is 7-0 San Francisco. Let's show you the next 5 games ahead. Tomorrow night, Kansas City, Cincinnati, 7:30 kickoff. Seattle and New York will be our game Friday night, 7:30. As Buffalo and St. Louis will play Monday. We'll take the weekend off. Now note the time Tuesday, 7 o'clock, not 7:30. We'll try to get you get this game over with and get you to watching the elections for all you political people out there. Cleveland and Chicago. Of course, this could be an election where we don't know who wins for several days or weeks. It's very close at the moment. Baltimore and New Orleans will be the Wednesday night game a week from tonight at 7:30. And all that right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel, the home of the HTFL. So far in this game, 15 plays for Washington for 56 yards. San Francisco doing a little better, 15 plays for 85 yards. So we start. It's a 3rd and 2, triple tight end formation for Washington, and they're going to put it to the arms and legs of Stephen Davis. Did he get the first? Yes, he did. Oomph on the blocking. And it is 1st and 10 at the 44. We're going to go Art Monk on the medium short hitch. Caught, and it's a first down. And if you will give me one moment, I am going to go over. It's a gain of 14 for Monk, by the way. 2 digital to dice on my phone. And I'm going to say hang on, folks. Gonna do some promotion on the fly here, I'm gonna say. San Francisco at Washington going on the channel right now, period. There we go. See? And I posted 1st and 10 at the 42. Sorry about that, folks, but I usually do that ahead of time. Trap right to Akins, I think. Yes, he got the ball, number 18. And that is a loss of a yard. So you just heard me do a promo for the Digital to Dice Facebook page. Charlie Taylor, medium out, 2nd and 11 at the 43. Incomplete. So now 3rd and 11, and this is the part of the field where they've been having trouble retaining possession. Medium fly, Gary Clark. A deep loose formation, but they're going to try it anyway. And Clark's got it a first down. He had 8 catches last week against LA for 130 yards. 1st and 10 at the San Francisco 30. But I think Washington really wants to establish the running game. Blitz coming, so it's going to be a screen to Akins. And Akins reverses field to the 20, to the 15, inside the 10, to the 8. That's a gain of 22 yards. That was Akins' longest catch of the season. First and goal. Cooley, cross. Incomplete. Second and goal at the 8. We're going to go Jurgensen on the quarterback draw. As Jurgensen, I know, can run. And it's a gain of 4 yards, cutting the distance they need in half. A third and goal at the 4. Advantage defense here, I would think, because you're so bunched in that there's not really a lot of good plays that would work. I'm going to go cross the monk. And we're going to change it to a draw to Davis. And Davis did not get much. Loss of 2 yards. Now, Washington does not have the wind advantage right now. San Francisco does for the next 2 quarters, quarters 2 and 3. Schwasem from 23. Good. No, it is not. He pushed it left. I thought that was going through. That was a chip shot, really, and it did not pay off for Washington, much to the surprise of the crowd here at FedEx Field. Of course, last week sat through a rather heartbreaking loss to the Rams, and now they are misfiring against San Francisco, and this is a team you don't want to play around with. First and 10 at the 20. Tittle to Davis, not to Davis, but to Gore. He gains 14. Davis is on the other team. What am I thinking? So now, first and 10 at the 34. 9:19 left to go. If you're in Tampa, expect traffic problems tomorrow. You're seeing this tonight. Both presidential candidates will be in town. First and 10 at the 34. The current occupant of the White House will be holding a big rally at the Buccaneer Stadium, Raymond James. Owens gains 22. Tittle to Owens. Tittle now 4 for 8, 59 yards. First and 10 at the 44. Anything happens to Tittle, Steve Young is a very able backup. Gain of 2. McElhenney tackled by Talbot. Second and 8 at the 42. And hello, Dave Gardner. How are you? Go Redskins. Okay, we still call them the Redskins these days. Second and 8 and 40 at the 42. Sacked by Slavinsky for a 5-yard loss. Third and 13 at the 47. Redskins are not off to a good start. Of course, the Gold Raiders are very talented. Third and 13. Tittle throwing. Looking for Rice, but that was thrown into double coverage. Fourth and 13, so you watch for the fake punt here. And that is knocked out of bounds at the 6. Tommy Davis, your punter. For some reason, San Francisco / Oakland did not pick up Ray Guy. He plays for the Las Vegas Ironmen. So it's 6:25 left, second quarter, and it's 7-0 with the Redskins having the ball. Sonny Jurgensen, 7 for 11, 89 yards. Washington trying to run the ball with no success. Here's Davis. He's stopped behind the line again.
Holding offense, number 47.
Cooley called for holding. Ball at the 3 for a first and 13. Trapped right. If you throw the ball, you could deal with Lester Hayes and Ronnie Lott and Willie Brown. Gain of 6 yards for Davis. Leo Namalini provided the first contact, but Davis broke the tackle, went straight ahead, and Willie Brown made the tackle. Speak of the devil. Second and 7 at the 9. To Akins, pitch right. Akins will get it on the screen on an audible. And it's caught. A first down, a pickup of 8. First and 10 at the 17. Already caught the podcast, Dave. It was a good one. Guys bring up some very interesting topics. I was just mentioning that a little earlier. Off tackle right, Davis. And it was a gain of 8 yards. Setting up a 2nd and 2, and I think this is where we go long. We're going to go play action long pass to Clark. He wears 84, and that's incomplete. Lester Hayes on the coverage. And those are the San Francisco fans that have come over via a special travel club from the San Francisco Bay Area. 3rd and 2. Davis, screen. Incomplete. So Jurgensen, first off, Akins was hurt, and they'll bring in Seymour, but it's punting time for Washington, Eddie LeBaron, so I imagine Akins will be back on the next series. Punt of 37 yards. Woodson calls for the fair catch at the 38, and we're down to 3:34 left first half. It is 7-0 Gold Raiders. Tittle back in the game, 1st and 10. Draw to Gore. Gain of 3 yards. Houston makes the tackle. That's Ken Houston for Washington out of Prairie View A&M. 2nd and 7 at the 41. One point, I think Ken Houston played for Houston. 6-yard gain, but it's coming back. They get Randy Cross for the hold, and that makes it second and 17. Ball to 31. Incomplete. 3rd and 17 at the 31. Tittle to Rice, incomplete. They have kept Jerry Rice off the stat sheet for the most part so far tonight. 1 catch, 9 yards, and that's it. Another defensive struggle Washington has been engaged in, much like the game with the Rams a few nights ago on HTFL. Signs from the 18, return of 8 to the 26. The punt went 51, so the net 43. Trap left, Stephen Davis, 1st and 10 at the 26. If any of our fans are in New Orleans, I know they're getting hit pretty hard right now by Hurricane Zeta. So we want to send a shout out to anybody in that area or anybody in that storm's path. Certainly don't be wasting your time watching this. We'll go to the 2-minute warning. Score is 7-0 in favor of the Gold Raiders. Watch it later, but don't be watching it now, for heaven's sakes. Short out the Cooley. And, of course, the last time New Orleans had a hurricane problem, it was Katrina 15 years ago, and that was a very sad story. 3rd and 5. This time, of course, they're getting a Category 2, verging on a Category 3. So the real world goes on. Davis on the screen, 3rd and 5. He'll get the first, and that's good for 10. And they will call timeout right here. Each team will now have 2 timeouts left to go. And it's 1st and 10 at the 41. Davis, off tackle right. Davis picks up 4 yards. And it's 2nd and 6. And we shouldn't have run the ball because we're down to the last 2 minutes. Medium out to Clark, just to stop the clock, if anything else. Instead, it's a give to Davis, and we're going to have to burn another timeout here. Buck 11, 3rd and 4. We'll put 4 wide in the game, which is going to bring Ricky Sanders in. Shotgun, man in motion, medium pass. Art Monk. A marker, pass interference.
Pass interference.
There you go.
Defense. Number 24, automatic, first down.
Willie Brown gets called for the PI, and that makes it 1st and 10 at the 40. Clark, medium fly route. Minute 5 left in the half. And he's open, and he's got it. 20. Marker down inside the 10 to the 7, but let's check the marker.
Offsides.
Oh, it's going to stand.
Number 52, 5-yard penalty.
And to make matters worse for the Gold Raiders, it stops the clock at 54 seconds. First and goal. Larry Brown now in the game. They'll pitch it right to him. And they'll hurry up to the line if he does not score. And Larry Brown, a gain of 3. Second and goal at the 4. We'll go hurry up. Don't want to use that last timeout just yet. Monk, short, medium cross. That will work too. Incomplete. And that makes it a third and goal at the 4. Clark, short slant. Oh, that is off the mark. And Jurgensen, according to our studious stat keepers, he has thrown 5 bad passes. He's 11 for 20 and 142 yards as Washington now trying to open up the game, open up the passing game a little bit. Schwesum, who missed a field goal earlier from about this distance, gets that one, and it's 7-3. We have 22 seconds left in the opening half. Abe Woodson back deep for the Gold Raiders, and he returned one for a touchdown against Denver a few weeks ago. So he is a deep threat.
Illegal block. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
Willis called for an illegal block. 14 seconds now left in the half. San Francisco still with 2 timeouts, but they're going to need a lot of work to get close. Gore up the middle, 4 yards. I think that's a wise play. And they will not run a play, and we'll go to halftime. It is 7-3 in favor of the Gold Raiders, and I'm going to pause for about 30 seconds so I can grab a drink of water. So stand by, folks, and we'll get right back to it. Seven to 3. Gold Raiders leading the Redskins. Whoever wins this game will have the best record in the HTFL, at least until New York plays. And if they win, whoever wins tonight, they could wind up being tied at 9-2. First and 10. No, it's not first and 10. We haven't even done the kickoff yet. My goodness, I'm getting ahead of myself. San Francisco, 23 plays, 125 yards. Washington, 38 plays, 187 yards. And we'll update the stats a little bit as the third quarter progresses. Again, Washington kicking to San Francisco as they just did before the end of the half. Woodson from behind his own goal line, past the 20, close to the 30, and that was a return of 31. First and 10 at the 28. Tittle to Hugh McElhenney. Houston again hurt. Ken Houston out for a few plays. They will bring in Mark Murphy, out of Colgate, who was on those 80s Redskins teams that did so well. Second and 10 at the 28. I believe Colgate is one of the Ivy League teams. The only Colgate I know for sure makes the toothpaste. A gain of 11. Tittle to Gore. Williams on the tackle for Washington. First and 10 at the 39. The throw. Wide open as Soltau. Had a few yards separation between he and the defender, and that is a gain of 22 yards. Tittle threw 285 last week against Detroit in the win there. First and 10 at the 39. Could this be a preview of the big game? Some point we will play in late January the first HTFL championship game. Could wind up that way. It was Soltau again, gaining 11 yards. Tittle to Soltau. First and 10 at the 28-yard line. And Hugh McElhenney with the catch. 15 more yards. McElhenney went deep. First and 10 at the 13.
False start. Offense. Number 82, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Gordy Sotal was one of the, I wouldn't say he was one of the first, but he was one of the pioneers of being a former player turned broadcaster. And I think he was doing pro games for CBS back in the 50s and 60s. First and 10 at the 18. Tittle now 8 of 15, 118 yards, an interception and a touchdown. The throw, McElhenney, and that's a gain of 10. Houston available. 2nd and 5, the ball at the 8. And let me just tell you that McElhenney now has 2 catches, 25 yards as I try to update the individual stats. As the second half progresses, Tittle broken up by Talbert looking for Sotal. Sotal so far is 4 catches, 61 yards. 3rd and 5, ball at the 8. The throw, Sotal, touchdown. And that is his second touchdown of the game. Receiving 13-3. Your point after is good by Janikowski. And Washington in some trouble now with 10:47 left in quarter number 3. James is going to down it 6 yards deep in his own end zone. Jurgensen has started 11 of 20, 142 yards. The leading rusher is Stephen Davis with 36 yards. And Davis and Akins are the leading receivers, 3 catches each. Davis at 22 yards, Akins at 44. Akins, trap right. Blitz coming, screen pass to Akins. The throw, incomplete. 2nd and 10. It's the Big Brother finals tonight. The finale night. Medium hitch to Charlie Taylor. It's either tonight or tomorrow night. A gain of 12. And that is Jurgensen to Charlie Taylor. Shout out to Nicole Francel for making yet another final 2. She could wind up being the first double winner of Big Brother. That's either tonight or tomorrow night on CBS. Stubblefield, no gain on the tackle of Davis, and it is 2nd and 10. And I keep doing these running plays that aren't working for much. Charlie Taylor, medium out. Davis to the sideline. He is out for the game, and that looks serious. So Charlie Taylor now moves to running back. And the 3 wide receivers now for Washington on this 3rd and 10 play are Monk, Clark, and Sanders. Clark, medium out. Jurgensen, 9 yards. He needed 10, so it's going to be 4th and a yard. LeBaron punting to Woodson. And that is a fair catch at the 15. As I again make a query to the computer. 1st and 10 at the 15. As I was just saying, we're down to 8:14 left. Gore gains 5 yards. 2nd and 5, the ball at the 20. Throw over the middle to Sotal, and Sotal's been killing the Redskins. Gain of 14. Yes, tonight, as I record this, is the Big Brother finale night. So Nicole going for the first ever double in Big Brother history, double winner. 1st and 10 at the 34. She won a few years ago. Now she's looking to win a second time, or it could be Cody or it could be Enzo.
10-yard penalty.
McElhenney called for holding. 1st and 20. Ball at the 24. Is there an NFL connection to the show Big Brother that's been on since 2000? Yes, there is. Ricky Williams was once a contestant on it. On the second celebrity version, they have since discontinued the celeb versions of the show. Played very well, if I remember correctly. 17-yard gain. That's Tittle to Owens. Mike Bass on the tackle. Owens now has 2 catches, 39 yards. They've done a very good job of keeping Rice and Owens off the stat sheet, but Gordy Solthau having a big night. 2nd and 3 at the 41. That is Gore, not an inch, or lucky if he got an inch. 3rd and 3 at the 41. We're going to screen it to Gore, where San Francisco is, because I don't control them. Gore, nice run after the catch, 19 yards. And a first down. San Francisco just really controlling the game, and Washington will probably have to go one-dimensional the rest of the way to get back in it. 14-3. The Gold Raiders lead with 5:06 left now in quarter number 3. Gore, a gain of 5. Williams on the tackle for Washington. That is Johnny Williams, who had the pick earlier. 2nd and 5 at the 35. McElhenney gains the yard. Arrington makes the tackle. 3rd and 4 at the 34. Screen. Gore, 30, 20, and down there. Slavinsky on the tackle for Washington. And San Francisco just chewing up yardage, getting little pieces of it here and there. McElhenney has a touchdown. Hugh McElhenney from how many yards out? 20. And it's 20-3. Extra point try. Good by Janikowski, and it is 21-3 with 2:13 now left in the third. So Washington with their work cut out for them here. 3 yards deep. We'll let James try to run it out and try to make something happen here. That's a gain of 25 yards to the 22. But called for holding. Also, my prayers for the city of Philadelphia. They have been having rioting the last couple of nights as I record this, so stay safe up there if you're watching from the Philly area. Off tackle right, Larry Brown. Blitz coming, so we'll change it to a screen. That's incomplete. Akins again injured, so Seymour will come back in out of Oklahoma. And it's 2nd and 10 at the 11. Clark, medium hitch. Gain of 17. And it's a 1st and 10 now at the 28. It was Lester Hayes making the tackle for San Francisco. Of course, the Gold Raiders being a combination of the 49ers and Raiders. No, we did not check Lester Hayes' hands and see if he had a whole bunch of stickum on it. Brown off tackle right. Nothing doing. He's not having the luck that anybody has had for Washington running the ball. Samuels called for a hold, and now you got a 1st and 20 at the 18. Monk, short slant. And another marker.
False start. Offense. Number 60. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Samuels on back-to-back plays has committed penalties. Each team with 6 penalties so far. Washington with 42 penalty yards and San Francisco at 53. Medium fly, Art Monk. And this time the play gets off. Monk is open. But good coverage by 24, who is Willie Brown. Closed in the waning moments before the reception. And it's 2nd and 25. We're going to go screen to Larry Brown. And that's well covered by the Gold Raiders. Dropped by Brown, and Akins goes back available. 3rd in a cab ride from Largo, Maryland. And we're going to go long, and we're going to go to Clark. This only has about a 1 in 5 chance of succeeding. And the San Francisco Gold Raiders have it played right defensively. They are deep and loose. There's your throw. Incomplete, but this could be pass interference, and it is.
Number 37, automatic, first down.
They get Johnson for PI, and it is 1st and 10 at the 47. This may be the last play of the third quarter. We're going to go trap left Larry Brown. Brown will gain yardage here. Past the first. A fumble. Akins recovered it for Washington. He was Johnny on the spot. Overall, the play gained 13 yards. We will end the third quarter. Your score, 21-3, San Francisco. Now, speaking of the blog, as I was earlier, this is the web address for the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims blog, because you never know. Anything could happen in this world of ours, and I just wanted a little backup page to post things on so somebody can access the YouTube channel that I have. And in this day and age, and especially in the year of 2020, you never know what's going to happen. So I've set up a WordPress blog, and there it is. Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims.wordpress.com. I know, amateur. But that is the address to the blog, and that's where I put up, as the day rolls along, my videos. And I also, when Digital to Dice comes out, I put that on there too, as was the case today. So that is Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims.wordpress.com. Spread the word. Back to the game, we have 48 plays called by Washington, 238. 40 plays for San Francisco for 297. 1st and 10 at the 40. Brown, trap right. Gain of 2. Peterson on the stop, 2nd and 8. The ball at the 38. We're going to go medium cross, Ricky Sanders. Blitz coming. But we're going to stay in the same play. Sanders open. Lester Hayes lets him get by. And that is a gain of 13 and a first down. Ball moves to the 25. And Washington needs to be throwing on first down a bit more. Slant to Sanders, Ricky Sanders. Blitz coming, so this could be open for them. Incomplete. Jurgensen checked it down to Taylor. And Jurgensen's now 14 out of 29. Screen to Taylor. And being a good wide receiver out of the backfield, he catches it and runs it 8 yards. He is both a running back and a wideout. 3rd and 2, kind of like that era's Lenny Moore. 3rd and 2, ball at the 17. So we'll go short pass, and we will look for Art Monk. Art Monk has not seen a lot of action. The throw, incomplete. And Jurgensen now 15 of 31. Monk, 1 catch for 14. Schweisom, if it's 71% chance, if he can hit it from 34. And he can. So it's 21-6. 12:34 left in regulation time. Okay, don't tell anybody, but I'm going to try a surprise onside kick here. The way San Francisco's been controlling the ball, figure why not. And Upshaw with the recovery at the 44. 1st and 10. In fact, let's look at the stats right now. Actually, San Francisco has not leading in time of possession. Washington's had it for 25 minutes and San Francisco for 22. Just feeling that was the right call there, because just the feel of the game and how Washington really needed another quick score. 1st and 10 at the 44. Gore, a pickup of 4 to get to 49 yards on the day, 11 carries. 2nd and 6 at the 48. The throw caught by Soltow. That's another 19 yards. 7 catches, 102 yards on the day for Sotal. First and 10, the ball now resting at the 33. Gore, no gain. Second and 10 now, ball at the 33. McElhenney, pickup of 7. McElhenney now 9 carries, 64 yards. So in yardage terms, he is the leading rusher for the Gold Raiders. Third and 3, the ball at 26. McElhenney, a first down, a pickup of 6 yards. So San Francisco just really having their way with Washington offensively, especially at times during this game. First and 10 at the 20. Gore, in the clutch, San Francisco has played well. I'll just put it that way. Gain of 12, Williams on the tackle. That is Gore again. Gore now at 13 carries and 61 yards. McElhenney 10 for 70. First and goal at the 8. Tittle. Sotal has his 3rd touchdown of the night. 8 catches, 110 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's got to be MVP. Your point after try, good by Janikowski, and it's 28-6. And the Washington fans start heading for the exits, wanting to get back to watch the other HTFL games. James, Sainz, and Williams. I don't think I mentioned the return men for San Francisco, so I will just do that now. Woodson, Washington, and McElhenney. Okay. First and 10, the ball at the 28, and Washington's going to make a change at quarterback. And we have to choose from, get zero in on the ratings. Kirk Cousins has the best passer rating. Joe Theismann, Sammy Baugh, and Eddie LeBaron. I'm going to go with Sammy Baugh, number 33, just for the fun of it. Run to the left, Larry Brown on first and 10. And Brown catches San Francisco napping. I'm sure they were expecting a throw. That goes 9 yards. Baugh was one of the first great quarterbacks who could throw, although they weren't known as quarterbacks until 50s and 60s. I would say they were more like a tailback, because a lot of teams did not run the pro offense as we know it. They were more of a single wing, T formation kind of teams. Clark, play action, long pass to Clark. Wears 84. Let's see the arm of Sammy here, sacked by Peterson. Peterson came up, lowered the boom on Slingin' Sammy. Julian Peterson out of Michigan State. And they're back to the original line of scrimmage on 3rd and 10. Medium out, Ricky. Sanders. That's caught. Check the marker, though.
Holding
Oh.
offense. Number 60, 10-yard penalty.
That sets up 3rd and 20. They'll go long, and they'll look for Gary Clark again. Deflected by Tatum. Jacoby injured. And that's going to set up 4th and 20. LeBaron will go back to punt. And they'll have to hope for a quick turnover. And they nearly get it. Owens forced a fumble on the punting team, which was Washington. Brown had it. The punt return went 6. The punt went 50 by Eddie LeBaron. First and 10, San Francisco at their own 40. They have a 28-6 lead. So Washington will have to call timeouts here before too long. That is a gain of a yard for McElhenney, who now is at 71 yards on the day. Tittle, sacked by man. And with that, Washington will call their first timeout. 3rd and 18. The animation you're seeing is not going to count. 3rd and 18 at the 32. To Gore, and this is just a give-up play. Sean Taylor to the sideline. And he will, well, we won't know who replaces him as not San Diego, but San Francisco punts. 4:34 to go. Fair caught. Possible marker. Picked up. Davis punted at 44. Signs did not touch it on the return. So Washington starts at their own 21. We have 4:23 to go. It is 28-6, so Washington's going to need a lot of luck here down the stretch. Medium out to Sanders. Blitz coming. Picked up well by Washington. And that's incomplete. Baugh has started 0 for 2. Medium out. Art Monk. He's got it. A gain of 15, and he gets out of bounds. Willie Brown pushed him out. Short out. Gary Clark. Incomplete. Grimm out for the remainder of the game, so Farman is going to come in, who also plays a little linebacker. He's out of Washington State and was a teammate of Stammy Baugh's. He wears 21. So you have a 16 and a 21 on the offensive line, Slavinsky and Farman. Medium out, Gary Clark. The throw, completed. And again, he gets out of bounds. Gain of 14. So Baugh now 2 for 5, 29 yards. Slant to Gary Clark. Blitz coming. See what Slingin' Sammy could do here. Incomplete. 3:54 left. Medium out. Monk. The throw incomplete. 3rd and 10, so this could be it here for Washington. Medium out, Monk. Blitz coming. Dump off to Charlie Taylor, who gained 7. 4th and 3, and he got out of bounds. Short out. Quarterback must pass, and this will go to Gary Clark. Yes, I want to call this play on 4th and 3 because this is probably going to be the last stand for the Skins. Incomplete. A turnover on downs, and San Francisco gets it. 3:38 left. 28-6 lead. Very convincing performance today for the Gold Raiders. Gain of 4. McElhenney. Slavinsky on the stop. And Washington is going... No, I don't want the play reran. I want to call timeout. I have 1 timeout left, so this play will not count. 2nd and 6 at the 47. Give to Gore. Gore back to the line at best, and that is it. And I'm going to use my last timeout. 3:21 to go. Again, this play will not count. 3rd and 6. Ball at the 47. Gore does not get the first. He gains a yard, and that's it. Dexter Manley on the stop. I'll set up for the return here. 4th and 8. Sorry, 4th and 5. And the return by signs to the 14. Got it at the 4 and ran it back to the 14. The punt went 48. So it's a 38-yard net. Baugh, medium out to Gary Clark. And he's got it. And he goes over 100 yards on the day, on his 5th catch. Now we're going to go long out to Clark. Washington is out of timeouts. Falls to the ground. 2nd and 10. Medium slant route. Monk. Just try to catch him off guard. That's a nice catch. Gain of 24. They will not be able to get a playoff before the 2-minute warning. It's still 28-6. Long out to Clark on 1st and 10 from the Frisco 38. Incomplete. Cooley, long hitch on 2nd. That's incomplete. Baugh has now thrown it 14 times. He's 5 of 14. Medium out. Sanders. Instead, it's a dump off to Davis. I'm sorry, to Cooley. He gains 8, and he got out of bounds. 1:45 left, so here's the play. Short out. Quarterback must pass. To Monk. Yes, I want to call this play. Because no, it won't matter if I don't make it. And he got it. Monk, a first down. Gain of 10. Ball is now at the 20. A fade pass. Ball to Clark. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Medium out to Cooley. Get him in the flat. Incomplete. 3rd and 10. Run the screen to Taylor. And they converge on him, a gain of 5. But the play is not going to count.
5-yard penalty.
And I'm sure Washington will on a 3rd and 5 and on a 4th and 5. Clark, short out, minute 17 left. Incomplete. And it's another 4th down situation for Washington. And the quarterback must throw to Sanders. Baugh ends this game with an incompletion. He finished 7 out of 20. And San Francisco already in the victory formation. Hey, Big Polly from the UK. Thanks for coming in. Mousy Dread. We are almost done here. 2nd and 11 at the 14. Tittle taking a few knees. And this game is over. San Francisco, the first team to 9-2. New York can join them in a couple of days when they play Seattle at home. 28-6, a convincing victory. And San Francisco making a case that they are one of the best teams in the HTFL at the moment. Washington kind of fading fast after losses to Los Angeles and the Gold Raiders. Sotal, to nobody's surprise, took out the player of the game honors with those 3 touchdown receptions, 15 yards, 8 yards, 8 yards. And we'll look at the team stats that we showed you here a moment ago. San Francisco was dead solid perfect, 4 for 4 in the red zone, 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. Yardage, actually Washington was better, 363 to 352. Each team had the ball exactly 30 minutes, and you don't see that too many times. 15 penalties for combined for the teams. 54 plays were run by San Francisco. Washington ran a lot of passes in the 4th quarter. They had 74 and 22 first downs for Washington, 21 for the Gold Raiders. Looking at the stats, Tittle is rating 119.3, 16 to 24, 227, 1 pick, 3 touchdowns. Baugh was not better than Jurgensen in relief. His rating a little behind Jurgensen, but that San Francisco defense gave them fits all game long. Leading rusher in the game, McElhenney, 12 carries and 75 yards. Leading receiver for either team was Sotal, 8 catches for 110. Leading defensive tackler was Willis for San Francisco. He had 8 tackles and a stuff. So that's your final, 28-6 San Francisco. San Francisco now goes to 9-2 in the Western Conference. They play in the Upper North Division, along with the 4 teams in the Lower West. So they will be Still a game clear of Los Angeles, even if Los Angeles wins later on in the week. Kansas City catches up to San Francisco later on. In fact, that'll be tomorrow night's game. Cincinnati, Kansas City. San Francisco right now still owns the tiebreaker based on head-to-head record. Washington now at 8-3. Still, they would have a one-game lead even if St. Louis beat Buffalo later in the week. So they are still in good shape. But New York, with a win, would stay in first place in the Eastern Conference. Should they lose, they would probably still be in first place if they lose to Seattle. Washington is only 54 points ahead in the net points category, and New York would have to lose by 30 to Seattle, which is probably not going to happen. So, as I was saying, our next few games, Kansas City and Cincinnati, will be tomorrow night. Kansas City was won 5 in a row. New York and Seattle. Then next week, Buffalo and St. Louis. And this has been Big Paulie coming to you. We wish you well, no matter when, where you are, and no matter when you see this. Sorry for the coughing fit, everybody. Godspeed and God bless, and we'll do it all again soon. Stay safe if you're in New Orleans or Philadelphia tonight, if you are watching